There are a lot of good hairstyling products by well-known brands these days, and the latest obsession for us beauty gadget junkies is styling tools that can take care of multiple needs in one device. Case in point, the Shark FlexStyle. It's a blow dryer, styling brush, and curling device all in one. It's not that much different from something like a Dyson Airwrap, if I'm being honest, but that gadget costs many times what this one does. So in this review, I'll take a look at what this device can do, how well it blow dries and styles hair, as well as how it curls too. I'll wrap up by telling you if I think I can recommend the Shark FlexStyle for you. An early heads up, if you end up liking this video and finding it helpful, to please hit that like button and consider becoming a subscriber. Both those things help me keep making more videos that I hope everyone out there gets to watch, enjoy, and learn from. And an early heads up, if you want to read, reference, or share this review, you can head over to techgadgetscanada.com for a full write-up. Let's start with what's in the box. There is plenty inside here, so let's pull it apart and take a closer look. There is the main motor wand and an array of styling attachments. The main motor wand is unique in that it can adjust its position with the click of a button, turning from a small but powerful directional blow dryer into a wand that can also be used with all the attachments. On the handle are the controls. There's a power button plus 3 airflow speeds. There's low, medium, and high, and 3 temperature settings, plus a cool shot button. Attachments are added or removed by clicking the release button. When it comes to those attachments, there's a round brush, a flat paddle brush, a directional blow-drying nozzle, and 2 curling wand attachments labeled left and right, and we'll get to more on these in a sec. One of the first things I noticed about these attachments is that they don't simply use plastic bristles. There appear to be something akin to natural fiber bristles on each of the attachments. Each of them simply snaps into the end of the wand. If you want to use it for blow drying, just remove the styling attachment, then release the lock to transform the FlexStyle into an L-shaped blow dryer. The Shark FlexStyle uses heated air to dry and style your hair. Shark claims there's no heat damage, but doesn't explain how that's possible. The Shark FlexStyle handle here measures about 11.5 inches, and it does balloon to about 17.5 inches with some of these attachments, so it is not small, and the device itself weighs about 1.5 pounds. Let's take a look at how it works and how I used it. We'll start with the hair drying. The Shark FlexStyle has a 1300 watt motor. One of the first things I noticed about using the FlexStyle as a dryer is that the nozzle is quite small. Size-wise, it's more akin to a travel hairdryer than a full-size hairdryer, but the wattage keeps it powerful. Initially, I thought the narrow size of the barrel opening here would mean it takes longer to dry my hair, but I was surprised to find just the opposite. I was able to rough dry my longer hair in an outstandingly quick 3 to 4 minutes. I also found that narrow opening and the L shape was actually a little better able to get in towards the roots, giving them a really good lift, an unexpected but pleasant surprise. I tried both attachments. The round or the oval brush attachment is meant to give more bounce and lift to your look, while the flatter paddle brush is aimed at getting smoother, sleeker strands. Ideally, you'll rough dry your hair first, then finish with one of these. The oval brush did a great job of giving me bounce, and it dried my hair quite effectively. I also really began to appreciate those smaller hairbrush fibers, since they seemed to grip my hair a lot better, resulting in a slightly slower pull-through and more effective drying with fewer passes. The oval brush has a handy nub on top, which Shark calls a cool touch location, but I found it also provided an alternate area to grip when trying to create smooth bounce. I also found those cool touch knobs to be quite handy to take some of the pressure off my wrists and shoulders, since after styling my entire head, the FlexStyle did start to feel a bit heavy. The paddle brush attachment doesn't have a similar nib, and I found myself wishing it did. Even so, I was able to get fairly sleek results. With this brush attachment, I did find it was a little easier for the powerful motor to kind of blow the hair off the brush as opposed to holding it against the heat output, and as a result, I personally needed to use extra passes with this brush to get my final look. It's not necessarily a criticism, but just something to be aware of if your preference is for that type of style. Let's get to those two auto wrap curling attachments. As I said earlier, they're labeled left and right. Unfortunately, the operation is simple. Use the one marked left on the left side of your head and the right on the right. This will give you a more balanced look than simply curling your whole head with curls all going in one direction. Each of these curling attachments also has a cool touch knob, which does make it easier to operate. These stylers use what's called Coanda technology, which essentially, and in my assessment of it, sucks your hair onto the barrel, wraps it around, and holds it there with hot air, creating the curl. Now, it seems weird to have that almost magnetic sucking effect since the dryer is actually blowing air out, but that's kind of how it feels to use. And I also feel that this clip will one day be on a blooper reel somewhere. I have never used this type of styling tool before, so there was a bit of a learning curve for me, and between trying to use left and right and looking in the mirror and getting turned around and making a video, it did take a bit to try to get the hang of it. To use this effectively, your hair should be at least 80 to 90% dry, if not fully so. To use the auto wrap curler attachments properly, you want to work in smaller sections, smaller than you might with a curling iron or a wand, for example, more like 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Turn the styling wand on and bring it around behind the ends of your hair, and then let the ends get caught up in the vortex and wrap themselves around the barrel. This should happen automatically. Once the ends have wrapped, you can let go of the rest of your hair section and then slowly bring the barrel towards your head. Your hair should continue to wrap itself around the barrel, and you don't need to twist the wand to help it, though I did end up trying this early in my testing. Shark recommends you hold the barrel in place for about 10 seconds, then blast it with the cool shot button for a further 10 seconds to lock your curl into place. The wand will really only hoover up as much hair as it can manage, so if you grab too much, it just won't take it and it'll kind of fall off the barrel. To get it to grip, you can also use kind of like a casting technique for fishing, where you move the wand closer and further from your head to try and catch as much hair as the wand can take. Like I said, this takes some practice, but didn't your first curling iron also take practice too? In my testing, I found that creating the looser waves I was after were possible in more like 6 to 8 seconds and without needing the cool shot button. In short, there is a learning curve to this technology, like anything, but you'll figure it out after a few uses. It is actually quite effective and gave me really good results. With every attachment I used on this device, I actually felt like I got those good results and the style I was after. It's hard to fact-check Shark's claims about no heat damage since it's hard to tell in a short amount of time. I think for the most part, though, this tool left my hair smooth and well-styled, if it might be missing some of that smooth as glass feel. Overall, the hairdryer and attachments absolutely hold up to their advertising. The blow dryer, while it appears small, is quite powerful and effective. While the larger oval brush was my preferred attachment, the paddle brush attachment worked quite well too, if it did require a few more passes. The interesting auto wrap curling attachments do take some practice, but they are quite effective. I think this is also an ideal styling option to bring with you if you're traveling, since it's effective, but it can be broken down or folded into smaller parts that would even hide in a carry-on. When it comes to the downsides of this device, using the tool does start to feel a bit heavy after a while, and the paddle brush, in my opinion, could certainly use a convenient place to grip to help with this. I'm also not 100% sold on the paddle brush's effectiveness, since it didn't really seem to grip my particular hair quite as well, but I am being a little nitpicky here. Although the Shark Flex style could use some small improvements, it is Shark's first try at making a multi-styler, and it continues the Shark Hyper Airs momentum in making premium type products more affordable. What really makes the Shark Flex style shine is the strength of the product overall outweighs the small compromises Shark had to make to significantly undercut the Dyson Airwrap. For that reason, I can definitely recommend the Shark Flex style to you. It sells for about $349 Canadian or $269 US, and you can get it from Amazon. Want to see what else Shark is doing to get a leg up on its competition? Check out that video here, or find out if splurging on Dyson products is actually worth the money right now.